make a tell the intro. Alright, cool. Welcome. Okay, chill. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another season of the Design Junkies podcast. Fucking hell. Play the intro. More go. Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Reagan alcohol.
You can't blow. You Ness, Ivy.
Alright, cool. Make me touch, right? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the season 2 of the Design Junkies podcast. This is going to be our first episode for the year. We'll be talking about how we are going about planning the year 2023 individually and the kind of objectives that we want to achieve at the end of the year, and basically just how we are going to go about tracking our progress. So yeah, I guess that's it really. We are just going to jump straight in. So Reagan.
Alright, thank you very much. We'll go around the table, we'll ask everyone how they plan their year, and probably maybe they'll share some few goals they have for this year 2023 and how they plan on achieving them. Because sometimes people mention that they set goals and then they're unable to hit the target, right? It becomes difficult. They don't know what to do to achieve every single. And I think Henson will have a lot to say on that because he made a post recently on Instagram about his whole 2023 goals and all that. So I'll start with him. Henson, how do you plan your year? What do you look at to set goals or actionable steps?
Yeah, like you said, I've made a post about my review for the year 2022. And one thing I noticed that was really putting me back was me overthinking some of the stuff in my head and not executing them. So normally I'll be just coming up with ideas in my head. I'll do this. And everything is just in my head. I don't do it at the end of the day. And this year, one thing I'm planning on doing more is executing. So you realize in my Medium post, I said that the theme for the year is to explore more and execute more. So basically, whatever goal that I've set in place, I'm planning on executing more of it. And in execution too, I'm also using this method, the 1% rule. So no matter what, I'll try and push at least 1% every day. That's what I'm actually planning on doing this year.
All right. Thank you very much, Henson. Michael, over to you.
So for me, at the end of the year, I try to do a retrospective of the things that I was able to achieve at the end of the year. And then if I couldn't achieve one or two things, and then I think that's still relevant, I'll probably just add them to the things I need to do this year. But then basically for me, I usually write the points down or the goals down in a book, and then I try to break them down. So if my goal for this year is to learn how to play football, for instance, right? I'll take that goal and then break it down into small pieces. All right, so maybe what do I need to do? Okay, fine. Maybe I should just get up and go to the park or something every single week or so, whatever it is. I just break all of them down. And then at the end of each quarter, right, I'll just like try to gauge my progress. But then currently I haven't really set like a fixed time to really go over the things I've been able to achieve maybe within a certain period. I just like run through everything that I'm trying to achieve, right? But then for me, it's mostly about just breaking everything down into smaller pieces.
Okay, Samuel, do you have anything to add?
So for me, I'm not the type of person who plans my year out. Like I don't believe in any of these New Year's resolution, plans for this year, all of those things. That's just me. That's how I've been for the longest time. I just strongly believe if you have something to do, just do it. Right? Don't wait for a new day. Don't wait for a new week. Don't wait for a new year or a new month. Just do it. Not to go too philosophical or whatever, but time is just how we humans have. I mean, we say this is 2023, this is 2024. It's just how we humans have broken time down for us to understand certain things. But it doesn't change anything, right? It doesn't mean, oh, because if you have something to do and you don't do it this year, or a new year, I mean, something will change drastically and you'll be able to achieve it. If you are not able to put in the work today, it's all going to change tomorrow. The work will still be there. Whatever it is you need to do will still have to be done. So me, I strongly believe if you have something to do, just do it. I know where I want to get to. So I have like an overarching goal or vision of where I want my life to be at. And that's what I work towards. So it may be that it happens tomorrow, the next week, next month, this year, next year. That's me and what I believe.
Thank you very much for that. For me, I normally do the review probably maybe in December, take the whole month to do a review of my year. But then last year I didn't do that. I wanted to do what Sam is currently doing, just go with the flow. So I decided that for the first 3 months of this year, I was just going to do everything that was on my mind. Like, if I want to do this, I'm just going for it. I want to do that, I'm just going for it. Listen, so you did mention about 1% every day. Now my question is, how do you look at, okay, this is what I want to achieve this year. So probably maybe as a designer, I want to do this, or maybe I want to earn this amount this year. What do you use to measure those and say, okay, this is what I want to be able to achieve this year?
Sam mentioned that he has like a vision sort of, but he doesn't really plan the year, you get it? So it's more like a big vision and he's working towards it. He doesn't limit it to just the year. I normally break it down into tiny bits where I'm like, okay, so if let's say I do a retrospect of 2022, I get to see where I did well, where I feel like I didn't push in much effort. I make sure the next year I double my effort over there. So me planning, it's more like me working towards a particular vision. That's me growing as a designer, where I want to be in, let's say, the next 5 years. I want to speak at events. I want to lead teams. So you having that end vision, you kind of like break it down. Okay, what do I need to do to get there? You get it? Aside the career goals, I also have personal goals that I also look up to. So it could be fitness level, it could be things I want to also try out that I've been postponing for God knows how long. So basically, that's what I normally do. So I break everything down into pieces. I normally write it in a book where I have like categories of finances, personal goals, career goals, what I need to do. I just break it down, write everything. Like at that moment, I'm just jotting everything down that comes in mind. And I see what the year brings. Basically, just execute. Like I said, last year was more in my head. And Alote's mentality is what I'm moving towards right now. Because no matter what, that thing still there. You eventually go do them. So it's better you start doing it now. Just stop overthinking it. Just do it. Like time no day like that. And yes, I'm now into that direction where I'm executing more. No matter what, if it comes in mind and time day, I just go do them. I no go think, oh, you know what, I'm just resting a bit. I'll do it maybe tomorrow. I just go for it because, Charlie, like I said, time no day.
Okay, that be actually solid. I mean, the good day, if you say to actually, you write down now your good way, you close your eyes, you say that the 365 days compass. So with the execution and the steps you need to take to achieve them will be important. Sam, or your hands, so what do you want to say, sir?
Let me just clarify. So for me, it's not really about me not planning my year. It's just the whole point of boxing yourself within a time span that we tend to call year. Saying, okay, the year is almost over, so let me do this in 2023, or let me do this next year, or next month, or next week, right? So that's what I tend to not to do. So me, even if I'm asleep and I think of something that I'm genuinely interested in, no one should get me wrong. I have a lot of things that I want to do that I don't do. I procrastinate, so I just forget about it. And what basically I've come to understand for me is that I'm just not really interested in those things, right? So the things I'm genuinely interested in that I want to put effort in, like anytime, I can be on my bed around 2 a.m. I just come up with something. And I'm sure even you guys have seen it. I can just sometimes send messages in a group like around 2 a.m. or something, right? So I try to not box myself in a time frame and say, okay, this week is almost over, so let me just push it. But for things that are personal to me, that sort of fit into the goal where I want to get to with my life, not necessarily my career, but my life in general, because your life comes before your career. Those are the things that I just go for it. A lot of people just tend to do a lot more talking than executing. But yeah, it's a whole time frame thing that I do not do.
Oh, okay, solid. So you do have a plan. You just don't limit yourself to a time or the 365 days we all have. So it's kind of still the same thing. Still goal planning. Yeah, Michael, let's listen to him.
Some mentioned something about taking action, right? And then not actually being stuck in the whole you wanting to do this or planning phase or whatever, right? I think that's something that it's really important when it comes to you being able to achieve your goal. Because if you don't take action, you just be there around before you know it, the time reach.
So with the whole goal thing, and you may be saying as a designer, I want to do this year. You have the bigger goal, and then maybe you break them into tiny bits and say, okay, I'm taking this one for this year. How do you do it?
For me, right, I believe in changing your goal. So maybe this year I want to move to give me a random goal that you have in mind.
Maybe earn 20,000.
Okay, so earning that much as a designer, right? And then maybe I have to think about it. Do I want to be earning this money as an employee or as a freelancer, right? So then if I decide to go the employee route, and then I realize that working in this company is maybe vibing out for me, I can decide then to change my mind and go the freelance route. Or maybe if I start with freelance, I'm like, okay, this year, right, I want to do freelance and earn maybe 200,000 cities as a freelancer in Ghana. So if I start and then I realize that maybe the way things are going, I'm not necessarily enjoying the freelance work, or maybe I'm not cut out to do freelancing, I can just switch it up and then decide to try being an employee earning that much. At the end of the day, it's still the same rule of earning this amount of money. So that's one of the things that I believe in. Not necessarily changing the goal, but then changing your approach to achieving the goal. Right. Or maybe if the goal itself is also not working too, you need to change it to do something else first. The world keeps moving. So yeah, that's one of the things I believe in.
Okay, solid. Samuel, what about you?
What's the question?
Jeffrey and Michael, right, they were saying how at the end of the year they look at the whole year, review themselves, and then plan for the coming year. And when they're making plans for the coming year, most of the goals is coming from their bigger goal. So maybe as a designer, their goal is to be earning so amounts by this year. So they decide, okay, this year I want to earn ABC amounts towards that goal. So I was just asking them, what is their thought process like? What do they take into consideration to decide, okay, this is a goal I want to have for this year?
Mine is a bit different. So like I said, I don't focus. Well, I mean, in the past few months, I've tried to move away from thinking about my career in isolation and thinking more about like my life in general. Because I've realized your career is just a tool to give you a better life. That's what I've come to realize. And in the past few months, it became a bit more clear for me as to exactly what I want in my life. I basically just want freedom. I'm tired of exchanging my time for money. That's basically what it is, what we are doing with this, whether it's freelance, whether it's employee, what it is you are doing. I want to be able to live the life I want, which is travel, explore the world, meet new people, and still not be afraid or not feel like shit, I have to go back and start making money or open my laptop and start doing something so I can make money to do this. So yeah, that's essentially it for me. So my career is just a tool to make that happen. And so whatever I need to do, that's what I'll do. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. So basically, whatever actions you're taking is to lead you to that point where you're not exchanging your time for money, but then you've built something that is scaling and is bringing you money. That's nice.
Another thing that I think about when I'm picking the goals I want to achieve is to know where I want to get to. It's been very difficult to actually know exactly where I want to get to, right? So most of the time, I go with the flow in a way, right? I don't necessarily have a goal in mind that, okay, this is what I want to do. But then I sat down a couple of weeks ago and then actually did the things that I want to do and the things that I enjoy when it comes to design and work. That's what influenced the things that I want to do this year, actually, because I just don't want to go about like just be going with the flow, right? I need to be more intentional. Just doing that introspection or whatever, just to understand what makes me happy, the kind of project that I enjoy working on, and what I want to do at the end of the day is what is influencing the things that I have decided to tackle as my goals for this year. Know yourself really, just like what Sam said. Sam knows that he doesn't want to exchange his time for money, and then he wants to travel. So that's what makes him happy, and that's what he wants to do. Like he didn't just get up one day and say that, oh, this is what I want to do. I think it took some time for him to actually realize it, if I'm not mistaken. That's what everyone needs to do in the beginning. Just like take that time, discover where you want to get to, and then break it down. So when you break it down, it could be like a lifetime goal, and then you take one objective every year, and then you just like push through till you get there.
All right, thank you. So when he was talking about how he kind of categorized his plans into career, fitness, health, finances, and all that. Hasten, can you throw more light on that? Probably maybe just let us know what are some of the categories.
It's like what you said. So I have finance where, okay, there's the amount I want to save at the end of the year. There's what I'm looking at in terms of investments, what money I need to put here. I also look at stuff that I need to get. So let's say, be it my workspace or other gadgets, I also budget it inside. So I have the list of stuff that I need to get. That's also in another category. I have my career goals to us. So what I need to work on, where I need to improve, where I want to be in terms of salary, what I want to earn. I also break it down over there. I have another one for health, like you said, where in terms of my fitness level, there's what I'm looking at. I also break it down over there. Then personal is more of the fun stuff that I want to do. This year, for instance, I want to travel more. It's also included in the personal goals where I do some of this stuff. I want to learn how to play guitar, start doing more of my rap music because I miss doing it. So basically I group them into those categories and I just start executing. Like I said, this year it'll be more of execution. So that'll be what we move towards.
Okay, thank you. Michael, do you have any categories or you have the same face?
For me, it's mostly just work, really. I don't really think about the other areas of my life, but then listening to Jeff speak, I think that's something that I also need to add because what we life really, life isn't really all about work.
Yeah. Well, for me, I also have categories, but not that deep like Jeff in all. Mine is a little bit of career and finances. Personal fitness, they will take care of themselves.
You Bob.
Man, you for go gym. You for go gym. Some in gym be traveling. They gym for Singapore then since.
Okay, they can't talk something else. Why it could say you take part.
No, talk.
Nah,
Talk.
you want talk. You want talk.
Talk on.
Something else.
See
See
what you
I
thought you were going
change.
to say.
I change.
I beg.
I change.
Let's continue.
So
What's the question
talk
again?
with it.
So I'm actually, you mentioned that you don't really plan a year, but you have this bigger goal you are working towards. So do you group them into some sort of categories and maybe probably look at your career side and say, okay, for my career, this is what I want. Personal, this is what I want to do.
So for my career, one of the things that I want to do is lead a team. I'm gradually getting closer and closer to that. It's interesting how life works. For me, I strongly believe in the law of attraction. And most things I've been able to think of and strongly work towards, I've been able to attract. In the past 6 months, I've had countless opportunities where I've led teams. I think I mentioned this in the past on this podcast, like a team of people who are like 2 times my age. And for me, I think it's just a blessing. This year, to go into a bit more detail, what I'm planning on doing more is invest in the stock markets. I think I mentioned this to Reagan.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking into a bit more.
The last thing he forgot to add is that he did travel wasa Charlie.
My role model for that side that too. He did travel like in head no day. Like he can just be there and be like, Charlie, I'm stressed, I need to just get out of the country.
You guys should check his personal page on Instagram.
Yeah. The nomadic song.
Yeah, the nomadic song.
Okay, so last question.
This one. Sorry for cutting you off. I have one question. Call it off the topic, but I have to say this. When we are all listing our goals, saying what the plans we have for the year, I noticed we didn't add our relationships, our personal relationships. And for me, and now, you're not gonna make an end.
Yo, some comes spot off.
Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
Good. Like I was saying, we didn't touch on that, and I've been observing for quite some time now. Someone like Mike, he hates. I don't know when you talk about relationships, he's just vexed. And I noticed that I don't want to say it here, but I have to. You know, sometimes when you chop breakfast, some of the words like if then talk by the trigger. So I was actually looking forward to he maybe probably saying that, oh, okay, this time around, maybe this year I'm looking forward to actually like going out more, putting myself out there. I don't know. For some they enjoy past you or some.
I don't know where you get this thing
always. From. You go call them, day house by day house. But yes. That's for another day. And for Reagan, yeah, I think he's good at highlighting his because he made a reel about his tech dates and it was nice. So, I mean, for Reagan, the question is, are you planning on doing more tech dates this year? And for Mike, my question is,
the answer is no.
Yourself out there more?
The answer is no. There you have it. Let me ask the question. The answer is no.
And for Sam, you there, Sam, you on there. I don't know what to make a talk about.
Are we meeting? Okay, never mind. Let's move.
Madam,
are we meeting our wife this year or this month?
Thank you.
We are not worried. Oh no. Okay.
If you can see where you come married,
I'm not gonna make a long.
You see they talk about you guys were talking.
So yeah, Reagan, now you can take over. Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, to answer the question, yeah, this year I'm planning on more tech dates. You guys should watch out.
Is it with the same lady?
No, not with the same person. No.
Different variety. God damn.
God damn it.
Airport and I see different location.
Different location. Sometimes in your post will come inside.
Hey. I will give you correct response so if you go. You can worry.
Okay. Our last question. Time frame. So you set a goal. You want to achieve this year. But there are some goals that you want to achieve before June, March, September, November. What do you look at? How do you measure that? Because one thing I believe is, aside setting out goals, what I do personally is I set my goals as actions. So maybe if I want to end this, I write that and then I add the actions I need to perform for each goal to end that or whatever it is. So what is it like for you, Helson?
Okay, so as much as I plan my stuff, if I overplan to, it kind of like puts me in this box, and sometimes I feel like this pressure on me, like unnecessary pressure, because let's say if I give myself 2 months and it's getting close and I'm actually not like getting anywhere close to the goal, it kind of like freaks me out. So normally I don't try to track it in terms of, okay, Q1 I want to achieve this. I just know, okay, this year I'm doing this, so I just start executing. At the end of the year, I just look back and see, okay, what did I do? What didn't I do? Then I just go from there. So me, for the year, I don't really look at, okay, Q1, I want to get this. It puts unnecessary pressure on me. So me, I just go with, okay, this is the end goal. Like, this be where I want to go. So I just start.
Okay. My goal.
Yeah, for me, I don't even track. I think the only thing that I do is just to check in. Maybe whenever I remember that, oh yeah, I have goals I've set for the year. I just like check in to see, oh, how far with this, how far with that, right? But then going in the year, I still have that in my mind. But then I just check and then see, oh, I'll be like, well, I was even able to achieve this thing a while ago, then I check it off. I don't really like go too much into revisiting and all that. But then this year, I'm really trying to revisit them and then create like the timelines and everything to see if it will work or if it will help.
Okay. That's good. That's what I'm doing for the first 3 months. If it goes well, then I'll do it for the whole year. If not, then I'll just sit down and then plan my year.
I feel like there's a temptation for people who tend to listen to people online talking about these things to take everything as gospel. You don't necessarily have to take anything you said here, apply it to your own life. You don't have to, but you can if you feel like you can relate to it or it sort of meets what you're also trying to do, but you don't have to, right? It's similar to all these gurus and motivational speakers and things who are out there. You don't have to take anything they are saying. It's just like we've always been saying, see it as a design problem. Every use case is different. So what might have worked for Jeffrey or Reagan or Michael or me might not work for you. So you can pick some things from here and apply it if you want to, but if you feel like what you are saying doesn't really work with you, that's also fine.
It's clear. Thank you guys for listening to the first episode for 2023. We'll catch you in the next one.
Hey,
They know our handles.
Hey, say it again, I beg you.
Okay. Follow us on Instagram at the design. The design. So the design THE design DSGN junkies JUNKIES. Then follow Sam at the design Sam, the same spelling, Michael at _EV, and Hansen at JDJ Hansen. I can follow me at Reagan.design, I think, yeah.
nice. Nice one.
Anything else you want to add?
Nah. Peace. We out.